Good morning, sweethearts. How y'all doing? It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Beautiful energy day. But an intense energy day. Things are going to increase, sweet ones. I've woke up to quite a few messages this morning and about Linda, I'm seeing these strange things. Linda, these strange things are happening to me. Linda. And sweet ones, I really encourage you to let go of your attachment to the word in the description of strange. It is only strange to the human aspect of you that is finding these things strange that are occurring. Now remember, we've talked many times about things. Good morning, Helena, Annette, Tobe Cruz. Did I say that right? Good morning, Barat, Amy. Big hugs and blessings, sweethearts. Good morning, Heather. I was just getting ready to work and saying I am in need of seeing you. I'm sending you all love, guys. Big hugs and blessings. And so, as we continue forward, things are going to. We're used to this roller coaster ride, sweethearts. Aw, big hugs, Annette. Thank you. Good morning, John. Things are going to increase in intensity, and what so many of you are messaging me and describing as strange, sweethearts, get used to it. It is not strange. Thank you, Barat. Good morning, Nita. Big hugs and blessings, sweethearts. My sleep is sporadic anymore, Barat. And you guys, you're finding, sweethearts, that the more light encoded filaments that you're anchoring into your vessels. Good morning, Donna. How you doing, beautiful? I was just asking about you. And strange is going to become, the abnormal is going to become your normal, sweethearts. And yes, as the intensity increases, so too will the morphine and the strangeness. The higher in frequency you evolve to, the closer to the sun we get. The more you're anchoring in your light body. And you're gonna find, sweethearts, coming through this next week, 2 weeks, if you will, of linear time, there is many significant transformations and morphing going to be taking place in collectively, especially planetarily and individually, as you guys continue to morph into your new timelines. The timelines continue to, let's put it like this. You're going to find yourselves in a great amount of quantum leaping, if you will. And with the higher in frequencies you rise to, sweet ones, so too does more fall away. Timelines will continue to, the two worlds will continue to split as they have been severed from each other. And with this, you're being asked to really create the Earth is shedding her skin. I've said this many times. And good morning, Kelly. Big hugs and blessings. Heather says, my 4-year-old has been telling me about all the visitors he has seen in our house. Yay, Heather, that is beautiful. Morphine. Transitioning, Annette. Hi there, Kathy. Good morning, Ernestine. And so, really allow yourself, sweet ones, to really trust thyself. You're not going crazy. You're not hallucinating. You're not this and you're not that. And you will find your physical vessels are really going to start communicating with you And for those who have not been hearing, if you will, people call their names and nobody there, feeling like somebody is near you, feeling like somebody has rubbed your arms or put their hands. Yes, Annette. Yes, transformation. Good morning, Nando. No, sweet ones, that, again, you're evolving. You're rising in frequency. The higher in frequency you rise to, more is revealed to you. Disclosure is a frequency. And because the planet has moved into a higher frequency, she's moving closer to the sun, getting ready to go through the sun, fully into her light body. Gaia's a golden already. And so Gaia's already a star. And so as you move into those frequencies in the physical manifestation plane, so too, those things that reside and exist on those higher frequencies will be revealed to you and will come into your presence. And again, this has been a slow integration, because if it had all happened at once, it would have short-circuited your vessels. And so, Annette, twin flames is very distorted. And I am not the right person to talk to about twin flames, because I break every single one of those distortions for you guys. I refuse and will not participate in the distortions of twin flames, because people do not understand what a twin flame is. And so, honey, I'm the wrong person to talk to about twin flame, because I understand I understand what a twin flame is, and it is not what the human aspect seems to believe it is. It's been very distorted, beautiful. And so let's just not even go on that subject, because people just can't handle the truth of what it is. They just cannot. And they all seem to think that their twin flame is that it just isn't. People can't handle the truth of what a twin flame is. Let's move on to another subject. So as we move into, we're in a huge timeline collective gateway choice point portal right now up through tomorrow, and then we'll go through it again. Sandra Walter has put out a lot of good information on it the past couple of weeks about this portal. And this gateway portal will close tomorrow, and then we'll go through it again the 21st to the 21st of November as well. As we come into Halloween, guys, Halloween, the veil is the thinnest. Now you're gonna, and everybody understands that spirits rise from the dead, if you will, on Halloween, because that veil is thinner. And so this Halloween is going to be different, sweet ones, whereas it feels like the dead is arising, if you will. Again, how you think and your beliefs are going to dictate your experiences. Everything is based on, come on, mama, come on in. Come on. Mama can't decide if she wants, Mama Kitty can't decide if she wants to come in or not. But it got cold last night here. Normally I have my doors open. Okay, and not about starships either. Twice today, neglecting twin flames, maybe because I should let go now from this and only relax. I love Sandra Walter, a personal friend of mine. She is me too, Eddie, and I love her too. No, Snoopy, you leave her alone. No, leave Mama alone. And so, as we go through, especially up into Halloween, you're really going to start feeling and having experiences, many of you, of your ancestors, of a lot of those spirits and stuff connecting with you. Now, it's really helpful to understand death is not real. And coming up into this period, this Halloween, and the raising of the dead is not going back to being dead, if you will. Because again, the higher in frequency you rise to, more disclosure is made for you. The higher in frequency you evolve to, the planet evolves, the collective evolves to, the more is going to be revealed. And so you're coming into frequencies and into spaces, sweet ones, because of the transformation that is taking place and occurring. You are going to be reconnected, if you will, in many ways, to those ancestors and such that have seemingly passed or who have transitioned. Now, another way, good morning, Laura, another way of looking at this, sweethearts, is I'm trying to put this into a human content, into a human language here. Another way to no, come on now. Another way to look at this is look at it kind of like this, just to give you a description. Now, I'm not saying this is exact. Don't take everything, hear what I'm saying, if you will. I'm just trying to give a description of something that you can't give a description to, if you will. As we go into these higher frequencies, the intensity is of seemingly chaos and turbulence is going to ensue. As Gaia continues to shed her skin, if you will, of this planet, and as it's really helpful to understand that the light bodies are almost fully, no, get out of here. Leave those babies alone. Come on now. You don't need to start in on those baby kittens. And as this transformation and morphing continues to take place, when you can stay in your heart, when you can stay calm, when you can stay peaceful, you're going to find that those who have chosen not to ascend, and there's an awful lot of them, sweet ones, they're going to start falling away. And when I say that, it's really helpful to understand that we have to honor that. And this is what is going to be presented. Now, it's also helpful to remember, sweet ones, that with the severing of the worlds that has taken place, nobody leaves you. And to the human aspect is seemingly hard as it may occur or seemingly seem, there are going to be those that die physical deaths, and there's going to be a lot of them. And this is where we really need to stay in that space of honoring their soul's choices versus the human aspect, emotional attachments that we have to them, if that makes sense. Good morning, Tabby. Big hugs and blessings, sweet ones. And as this takes place, and as you evolve higher to match the frequencies of the New Jerusalem and the fifth dimensional Earth grid, that's what you've been anchoring into, and that ship is fully anchored in. And we are in a process of transport right now. Now, everybody's going to have their own perception and their own description of what is taking place, sweet ones. And this is why it is necessary for each of you to stay within your hearts, to no longer seek that validation and that confirmation outside of you. Because the amount of people that are awakening up at this time, there is much distortion. Truth is as fluid as the frequency you maintain. And for those just waking up, they're coming into a lot of truth. And that truth is going to be not as deep or clarity, with as deep clarity as some of us that already have. And so when people arise and awaken to the truth, if you will, Good morning, Stacy. Good morning, Stephanie. BB kites and blessings, sweethearts. You're going to find that again. When people awaken, they share their information. And so there's going to be a lot of distortions coming out because a lot of people are awakening to a lot of truth. And those who have been on the path have come into a frequency of deeper clarity and deeper truth. Does that make them above or below? No, it doesn't. But this is crucial for each of us to stay within and listen to thyself. Trust thyself. To be ascended masters in light body form, walking the earth, the new earth grid, you have to be willing to honor thyself, trust thyself, and to be thyself. Now you have merged with the higher self, and it's the higher self that you are anchoring in. It is that light body self. Your personalities are changing. Your physical vessels are changing. And your physical vessels will continue to morph into that which your soul has chosen to be the perfection of its vehicle. Those two are things. For those of you going through physical ailments, those of you who are experiencing diseases and things like that popping up, be aware. Your vessels are communicating with you, and you're going to come in. You are coming into a space where, well, liken it to your vehicles now. These newer vehicles, if you will, have these, what are these, I don't even know what you call them. Where the oil needs changed, it has a little voice, or it has a little warning sign, okay, change the oil, or this light will come on and flash you and say, okay, you're low on transmission fluid, yada, 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 yada. And so, good morning, Carrie. And so, that's what your vessels are literally going to start communicating to you. You're low on magnesium, you're dehydrated, you need iron, whatever it is, you're going to come into a space and a frequency of a great amount of more communication with your physical vessel, to where the human aspect side of it will actually understand what your vessel is telling you. When there is a pain, you're going to be able to know the energetic blockage behind that pain, even if that pain is in the toe or in your knee or your elbow or in your throat, whatever it may be. And you're coming into frequencies and spaces that you're knowing things, and you're seeing things, and you're feeling things, and you don't know how, what, where, when, why, or whatever. This is total surrender here. Because you don't need to know the why, when, what, where, or how. You need to surrender, and that's what Spirit is showing you. Because this is unknown. And you're coming into a space where the unknown and the abnormal is going to become your normal. You will no longer fear that which is unknown. You will no longer be afraid, have anxiety, be stressed, to stand in the truth of all that you are and who you are. And by the beginning of next year, by the end of this year, beginning of next year, you will not in any way be that who you are and claim to be right now. Because when the earth goes through the sun at the end of the year and fully becomes a star, you will be fully anchored into your light bodies, just like she will be fully into hers on the physical manifestation plane. And when that occurs, and that's what you have been anchoring in, sweethearts, is your light bodies, and releasing form. Releasing the matter, changing the matter into full light. And when that fully occurs, well, Melissa, woke with redness under the eyes and puffy and headache. Hey, Mel, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe if I go in the light or turn my light up. I woke up. Remember how I've been saying you guys are going through, your eyesights are going through upgrades? Mine woke up, you can't see it, but I woke up completely with the whole, on both of my eyes, totally bloodshot and everything. Again, your eyesight, your physical vessels are morphing and being recalibrated and rewired and formed into that which can hold the higher light frequencies. And with the upgrades in your eyesights, again, the higher in frequency you rise to, sweethearts, you're going to start seeing things that are, again, like the messages I got. Linda and I, am I crazy? You know, I'm seeing this. Am I crazy? Am I hallucinating? And so you're finding that, no, you're not. That's normal. Because, remember, it's not that we're being depopularized or anything else. There's 7.8 billion souls on this earth, and less than 1 billion are awakening and ascending. And the higher in frequency you rise to, the higher in frequency the collective and this planet rise to and evolves to. You're coming into a space where you're coming into just the ones who have chosen to awaken, and all others will dissipate from your existence. Now, those in a space of fear are putting it out as depopulization. No, we're not being depopulized. That's fear-mongering. What is happening is there's a separation of worlds. And those who have chosen not to awaken and not to ascend are being transported through physical death to continue their soul's growth, and will be transported to 3 other Earth-like planets. This is nothing new. We've been talking about this ascension, this shift, for a long, long, long time. And the reality of it is, for those who like to use the word real and genuine and authentic and reality, what you claim is reality is not reality. And you are moving into that which is reality and real. That which is truth. And therefore, because of that, you are evolving into that. You're evolving back into and anchoring in the higher aspect of yourself. To be yourself. That's what you've been doing. You are no longer Melissa, Saeed, Carrie, Linda, John, Stacy, Stephanie, Tabby, Lauren, Laura, Annette, Eddie. That is not who you are. That is the name of your vessel. Who you are is your higher self, and your higher self has been anchored in. And now you're learning, if you will. Remember, you're at a new earth, you're on a new grid, everything is new. You're a toddler, you're a child in a mature body now. No longer are you watching your spiritual childhood. You've transformed it, you've neutralized it. Now you are a childlike adult, if you will, returned back to the purity, the holiness, and the innocence of all that you are. And you're learning how to be that in a physical form. So right now you're in the stages of learning how to crawl. Remember, you just gave birth, guys. So now, you're breastfeeding that baby. And that doesn't matter if you're feminine or masculine, you're breastfeeding that baby. And so, now you're watching your baby starting to crawl and some learning how to walk. And that's you. You're learning how to crawl and walk and as yourself anchored in as a light body. And so things are going to continue to morph and transform all the way around you. And the more comfortable you get, if you will, right now you're in a space of putting your toe in the water to see if you're comfortable enough stepping in it. You're spreading your wings, sweethearts. And remember, you've graduated already. And so now, that's why things seem strange, seem crazy, seems like you're hallucinating this, that, and the other. because you're trying to feel your way into and get comfortable with being yourself. And that's a beautiful thing. This is a magical, magical time. And in order to anchor in those higher frequencies, the chaos and the turbulence and whatnot that is intensifying in the outside physical world is just that which is being released or shed from Gaia, from the earth. And so that's flow, sweet ones. Allow the changes in the morphine to take place. Know that you're not going crazy. You're not hallucinating. Yes, you're seeing these things. Yes, and with these higher frequencies, you're really going to see. That's why I've been pointing them out at night and during the day. The higher in frequency, the more it is revealed to you. Now, many of you have been seeing the starships. Now you're really going to start seeing them become uncloaked. Now remember, it's really helpful to remember that it always has been. You just have not been at that frequency to see it. And so the higher frequency that you're rising in, you're allowing yourself, the more light encoded filaments that are coming in, that you're allowing yourselves and opening yourselves up to receive, the more deeper clarity and deeper truth will be revealed to you, and the more will be disclosed to you and revealed. And that includes the starships of the, that includes, you're going to start seeing, rather than just connecting to the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, this or that, or rather than just us telling you, like Melissa being Pleiadian, Ellen being Syrian, and my home base is Syrian and Andromeda. So you will find that which you can connect with telepathically is going to now manifest into a physical light being that you're physically going to be able to tangibly see with your eyes. And where the other day on my video I was showing you, I don't know if you guys can see the 3 light beings walking across my lawn. And that's what I'm meaning. Shell Maxwell messaged me yesterday about light beings. And I shared with her. She goes, what are they? Who are they? It's like, those are the celestial white beings that was actually contacting her in that particular instance. You're really going to, each of you have been assigned 2 galactic guides that will assist you on the new Earth grid once you're fully anchored into your light bodies, and they're already present with you now. Some of you have been communicating with, some of them can sit down and have tea with them, if you will. I'm using that as an example so you can understand what is occurring on the physical aspect of it. And some of you, like myself, they're as real to me as my flesh is. I can sit here and see them just like I can you. And that's just those frequencies and spaces that you're coming into, sweet ones. So, really allow yourselves to let go of the definitions and the descriptions and the attachments to what you think is, or what you have been taught is abnormal, is crazy, is strange. Let go of those definitions, because those are going to become your new normal. And that which has seemed normal to you is not going to be normal anymore. You're going to find within and without. The without is changing to the within. And the within knows that it's limitless. That anything in everything and nothing and all things coexist in this moment. And the more you can literally allow yourselves to stay in this moment right now, the intensity that is going to increase in the outside physical plane as it is shed through physical presentations of chaos, you will discover that that which is occurring is not going to affect you near as much. When you can stay in the now, when you can stay in your heart, when you can stay in the intention of those higher frequencies, not engage, not participate, and not continue to create from an emotional space of those lower frequencies, this is going to be this transformation and this transportation, this transformation, and this shedding of skin as we shift to the new Jerusalem, if you will, to the new starship, will be much more graceful and easy and gentle for everyone. And that's where we're at, sweet ones. That's what this next week, and especially these next 48 hours, are really going to present. These next 48 hours are going to be, well, let's look at it like this. We left that old rickety roller coaster, and we just got on a brand new one, and we're the first ones to ride it. And they don't know. And right now, we don't know how that ride is going to be, how it's going to go. Good morning, Ishta. Big hugs and blessings, beautiful. And so that's where we're at right now. You're being asked to literally let go of and shed, sweethearts, everything that is comfortable and familiar to you. Because remember, that which is comfortable and familiar is of the old. And one thing about the new is there's nothing comfortable nor familiar about it. Good morning, Angela. How you doing, beautiful? Big hugs and blessings. And this is the space of total surrender, sweet ones. So if you're finding yourself in a space of not being able to completely surrender, to let go of those emotional attachments, to let go of that control, you're going to be presented this week especially. But I can tell you this. Like in the next 48 hours to the tower completely falling, I've said this many times, and for many of you, the tower is still falling. For those of you that the tower has already fallen and you're going through that intense emotional devastation right now, know, for every single one of us, we have crossed the threshold. And the second you are able to feel what you're feeling and transmute it and transform it, don't reject it. Allow yourself to be present with whatever is coming up, because it's coming up to be released. It's coming up for you to sit there, to feel into it, and to say, I no longer need you. Because you are not going to serve me in the life that I am creating. Because you're creating it right now, sweet ones. And you're creating it by every emotion, by every thought, by every action, by every deed, by every feeling that's coming from your heart. You are creating it. Pay attention to what you're creating, your masters. And right now you're being asked to see where you are not in your mastery. You are being asked to see where the outside world is still dictating to you. You are being asked to observe and to become aware of and to acknowledge that which is not holy and pure and the innocence of all that you are. You are being asked to observe and to acknowledge and to see through what is being presented, through your conversations, through your experiences, whatever it may be. You are being asked to observe where you are still in a space of delusion, of self-deception, where you are still depending on a person outside of you to complete you, to make you feel whole. All of these things are coming up for you to become aware of, because you know what? This is nothing new, sweet ones. This stuff has been presented, but the glory and the magic of why it's being presented again is because now you're ready to transmute it. Now you have given yourself permission to see that which you have not been able and willing to see before. Because you have evolved yourselves to a higher frequency. For those that because every one of us in one way or another has rejected one aspect more than the other, in whatever way that may be. For some, they haven't been able to accept where they still compete. For others, they haven't been able to accept that they're pure and holy and childlike. For others, they haven't been able to accept that, whatever it may be. I'm in a space if I can't come up with any examples. But it's those things, the self-deception where you have, and this is a huge one for the collective right now. And really, if you can step yourself back from the emotions that are being brought up, now feel into the emotions. I'm not saying to ignore them, but if you can step back and observe them, you're going to find that really everything that is coming up right now, sweethearts, is dealing with worthiness, self-worthiness. Because that is literally, and that ties, remember what I said, all of these energies is wrapping around trust and distrust right now. And that comes back to worthiness. Because right now, the human, again, you've crossed the threshold. And everything starts behind the scenes in the hidden, in the unseen realms, and manifests into the physical. So, in the past week, if you will, in your dream time, yada, 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 and for some during the physical that are consciously aware of what they can, and, that are already fully into their mastery, that can see it outside of dream time, if you will. But for the majority of you in dream time, you have been recalibrated and rewired, and your soul has chosen, I am worthy of this. Now, most of these things being presented right now is dealing with self-worthiness, even though it's disguised as something else. Again, if you can breathe before you react with what is being presented, sweet ones, you will see. Again, your soul and your spirit has made the declaration that you are worthy. And now your human vessel has to release that old programming, because again, your cosmic heart is leading you right now. And your cosmic heart is reprogramming the artificial intelligence or the left-brained programming that you have been under, the humanity has been enslaved under. And so when this reprogramming takes place, this is where yourself has to nurture, if you will, your physical vessel and say, yes, you are worthy. Because that's where your ego, the old programming, is going to resist. It's going to present you right now, and it's going to bombard you with a whole... You are not the voices in your head. And it's going to bombard you with a lot of doubt, a lot of insecurity, and everything else, as it is that old programming is being released. So when these experiences come up in this next week, especially these next 48 hours, you're going to find, if you can allow yourself to observe through it, step back and observe through an expanded lens of 12, you will find that it's all about worthiness. You are worthy. You are whole. You are pure. You are complete. And you are masters. And so right now you're just being really asked to just be present with self and surrender anything that comes up. And right now, sweet ones, you're going to find you're going to be relocated, some of you, temporarily, maybe permanently. Good morning, Aaliyah. Big hugs and blessings, beautiful. And you're going to find that for others, you're, well, let's see. You're going to switch jobs. There's many that are still pining over a certain person of the past, or this so-called twin flame, or, soulmate, life partners, whatever it is. You're going to find, sweet ones, let go. If it's meant to be, it will be. Let it go. Let go of the old, sweet ones. You're being asked to let it go. Until you let go of those old relationships, and those old ties to those relationships of the past, even if your destiny and your fate is to be with that person of the past, until you let go, they cannot become the new. Until you let go and release it, you cannot anchor in the new with that person from the past. The relationship cannot become new until you can let go of it. And that is the necessity of letting go at this time of all of the old. Even if you are convinced somebody has been your twin flame for 5, 10, 15, 30, 50 years, it don't matter. Convinced, and you're not been in contact or this, that, and the other. It don't matter. You have to let go of the old in order for the new to come in. And if they're part of your new, they will come in new. They'll come in being that same person, but they'll become in as a new that person. They'll come in at a higher frequency. They will come in to maintain with you, because right now with the sun going into Scorpio, Pluto, the planet of the destroyer planet, the planet of transformation, rules Scorpio. And so right now, all the energies for the past 2 days, and today's going to be another intense day for many of you, what is occurring is Scorpio rules the underworld. All those hidden things that you have, that, again, you're self-deceiving yourself on. And this is where a lot of this twin flame stuff is coming up, because it's self-deception. And these are the things that are being presented throughout these next couple days. It's showing you those things of your underworld that you still hold that have to be expanded through light and through the love of your heart. So really allow yourselves to surrender. Surrender your comfortableness. Surrender that which is familiar. Because all that is comfortable and familiar is going to become not comfortable and not familiar. What did I miss, Kathy? Did you say something else that I missed? He has been my twin flame over all lifetimes, and I will meet this energy again in a few. Mikot. I'm not sure what Miyakot is. But the divine, I'm not even going to use the term twin flame. Twin flame is it's a stair step. The divine consort, or what so many of you refer to as the twin flame. The divine consort, the twin soul divine consort, is your higher self. And now that you are anchoring in the joining of the sacred union within you with your divine consort, that frequency, you've already merged in sacred union. That higher aspect, that higher self, is what you're anchoring in through your light body. You're already in union. Again, the higher in frequency you rise to, the higher you allow yourself to evolve to, you come to understand they've never been separated from you and what you think and have felt, and that divine consort has always been with you as you. And you're going to find many of you are coming into and will be coming into by the end of the year especially, and why I say, and I excuse me, and again, I'm not trying to give a time frame here, but you will come into understanding and knowing fully that your dream man or your dream woman has always been right by your side anyways. You just haven't been able to see it. Only again now, with the morphing and transformation that's taken place, again, you're going to start seeing all of your team, your angels, your everything that has always been around you is going to be there. And that's why we say the divine consort, the twin flame, just as everything else, is a frequency. And for those of you who are convinced that you have been with your twin flame before your journey and everything else, you know, they all hold a little bit of energy of the divine consort. But it is not your divine consort, and none of us have been in manifestation with our divine consort, and won't be until now. For a purpose. When you come fully anchor in your light body, you will be, and it will manifest into what is deemed the physical plane. You will be with your divine consort once you are fully transported into the fifth dimensional frequencies. Those that are on a Blu-ray divine consort mission, those are the ones that are coming into physical union right now. And there's very few people, very few, where the divine consort has actually manifested into the physical plane. And again, as you allow yourselves to rise in these frequencies, as you anchor them, continue to anchor them in, sweethearts, you're going to discover exactly what I mean by that and what everybody else means by that. Because, again, what is seemingly separated is coming out of separation. And it is manifesting into the physical plane. And you're coming into a space where you're really going to understand and realize they've been with you all along. You just haven't been able to tangibly see them. And now you're starting, that's those flashes of lights you're seeing outside of the corners of your eyes, or, you know, the little orbs that you're seeing all around you. They're beings, and you're actually going to start seeing them just like you see you or me. And that is your natural state of being. And that's what is occurring right now. And it's magical, even though it seems like it's not magical. Remember, we're shifting from what is been tangible to something that has not been tangible and making it tangible. And that goes for the divine consort, that goes for the abundance, that goes for disclosure of the UFOs, that goes for disclosure of your star families and your star galaxies and yada, yada, yada. And that's what we're coming into, more and more. And you're really going to see this severing of the worlds that has taken place. You're really going to start seeing that manifest more and more onto the physical plane. Because the higher you evolve to and the higher in frequency you rise to, again, you're coming into frequency in a space where only those who are awakening and ascending are going to be in your presence. Because you're going onto the New Jerusalem. And so all those that are not going on to the New Jerusalem, if you will, aren't going to be around. So those 6.8 billion souls are going to fall away from your physical presence as you rise and shift and be transported to the New Jerusalem as we finish out Gaia's ascension cycle here, manifesting on the physical plane as she goes through, leading up to going through the sun. This is a picture of the sun I posted yesterday versus the one from the day before. You can see how much we have shifted, how much bigger the sun has gotten. That's because we're getting closer. I've said this for years. You know, I told Todd Medina when I was in Houston at his house, me and my fiance Mark, a year and a half ago in Houston. I told him and Mark about this whole entire cycle and how the end of 2017 Gaia would be going through the sun and would become a star. And both of them, both Todd and Mark sat there and told me, you know, you can't live completely in the metaphysical world, Linda. Well, what's metaphysical and what's yourself? See, for me, people have told me my whole journey I'm way too far ahead. That ain't happening for 3 or 4 years, Linda. So I stopped posting a couple years ago, about 3 years ago, I stopped posting a lot of that stuff. Because people kept telling me I was crazy, and now look it. Oh, I knew. I hold that planetary consciousness, the guy. I'm very well aware of what's taking place. And now it's manifesting. So I say that for you to see, because a lot of this stuff that you have, that has come to you in the past 3-4 years of your journeys, or maybe longer or maybe shorter, don't think you're crazy. Because remember, spirit don't work in linear time. So what I was posting 3 and 4 and 5 years ago, and people were sitting there messaging me, telling me to stop, that I'm scaring people, this, that, and the other, and that I'm too far ahead of my time. Spirit don't work in linear time, guys. So these energies are also going to be giving you a life review, if you will. And you're really going to come into a space, if you haven't already been observing, going through this life review this past week or two, you're really going to see where, just how far you've come. Just how much morphing and transformation you have been through that you have not really allowed yourself to become aware of. Yes, you know you've gone through your journey. Yes, you've released a lot. Yes, this, yes, that. But what you're really gonna, if you allow yourself, and these energies are presenting for each of you, and this again ties into worthiness. So if you have not been or realized that you've been in a life review, if you will. Now remember, in your religious text, it talks about Judgment Day, or when you die, you're going to go through a life review. You're not dying a physical death. For those who have chosen to awaken and ascend, you are not dying a physical death, sweethearts. And so your life review is occurring right now. And it will continue to occur as you go forward, as you fully anchor in to your light bodies and transport yourselves onto the new Jerusalem, the new Earth, fifth dimensional starship and grid. And so you have the opportunity of going through your life review now, and it is going to benefit you in many ways. It's going to benefit the human aspect in the sense that it is going to show you how far you have come, which will help anchor in the soul choice of I am worthy. It's going to assist you with anchoring that in, because you're going to be able to see how far you have come, truly how much you have transformed and morphed yourself from that victim into the ascended master that you are and that you are anchoring in. Again, you have been returned to and you have graduated and you are holy, you are pure, you have been returned to your innocence. The only difference is you're in a mature spiritual vessel rather than you're a mature. You have neutralized and harmonized your spiritual childhood. You're masters now. You're parents now. And you're mature now. And now you have to step up to the plate to be that. And you have to be that and do that through integrity and honesty fully within yourself. And so, through this life review that you are being presented with, you will be able to see all facets and all aspects through all lenses, if you will. The veils have been removed, and you're giving yourself permission to have them fully removed from yourself to where you can see through 12 lenses, if you will. Curtis, I think I've got universal laws where I needed to take back my power back. Linda, from within. It's not that you have to... I don't understand that, Curtis. Take my power back from within? No, you need to take your power back from without. So I don't understand what that means, Curtis. Maybe I'm not on the same page there. But that statement from you confuses me. I scared a woman only by telling her I see in the nature. Good morning, Vicky. Big hugs and blessings, beautiful. Spiritual, deep meditations, high energies. And these energies are all the time. And that crystal child, high intelligence. I missed something here. He has been my twin. I missed something. This means we are creators, Linda. Well, I know I'm a creator. I know that. And see, that's a perfect example. And I love you, Curtis. That's a perfect example of how our perceptions and communications create miscreations if we don't take the time to sit there and ask another, okay, that confuses me, or I don't understand what you mean by that, rather than just reacting. And that's the beauty of us. Because before, if you observe, somebody could have said something like Curtis did, like just now in myself. Okay, that confuses me, Curtis, because, I've been showing it a different way. And before, in those lower frequencies, Curtis could have said something like that and it would have started an argument over a battle of who was right or wrong with most people. I'm not saying with him or me. And that's the difference. And it's those little subtle things, if you allow yourselves to observe, not only from an individual lens, but from a collective lens and everything else, that you can really see where truly, even though there's a lot of chaos and turbulence out in the world, truly, the world has softened in many ways. And that is what these energies are doing. Again, I have to use the example, somebody that is a very angry person that always erupts. They may still be erupting, but it's not as intense as it used to be, because the whole of humanity is being bathed with grace and very loving, calming, peaceful energies. And that's why the chaos and the turbulence in the outside world is occurring. Because when you flood light into condensed light, it creates change. Annette, children coming now, called crystal children, spiritual. You're going to find that any children born after the year 2010, especially, diamond children, crystal children, indigo children. The children born after 2013 are coming in as diamond children. And you parents out there that are having these kids, that have had kids since 2010, majority of them are coming in as autistic, yada, 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 yada. You parents out there are going to find the higher in frequency we rise planetarily and collectively, you're going to find that what is labeled as autism, ADHD, yada, 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 what has been presented as these autistic kids are troublesome or act out or whatever, parents, you're going to find that is going to ease out a little bit. Those autistic children, and this goes for adults too that have ADHD, you're going to find as we continue to rise in higher frequencies that these children, this autism, this ADHD, it may get more intense to acting out or whatever for a little bit, but you're going to find it's slowly coming into a more harmonious, because autistic children and children with ADHD, they are born fully awakened. And the reason they have labeled it autistic and da-da-da-da-da, those children hold a higher vibration than any single one of us. And the reason they are the way they are is because they have such a higher frequency within them that their vessel has not adjusted to. And these higher frequencies, as our vessels adjust to them, you're going to find that these autistic children are going to be able to come into their own and not be autistic or ADHD, if that makes sense to you. I hope I presented that to where that makes sense. You're going to find the higher in frequency we rise in, that those children are going to come into being the true new leaders of the new world. And their vessels are going to be able to come into harmony and harmonization with the higher frequencies that they hold within. Now, by the same token, let's look at the other side of that, if you will, because everything is a contrast and has a contrast, sweet ones. Now, if you observe, and for those who are not familiar with autism, I encourage you to become familiar with it if it resonates. But where we say these light-encoded filaments coming in, for those who have not chosen to awaken, the higher frequencies will short circuit the vessels. That's why you're seeing more people die of heart problems and unexpected heart attacks and this, that, and the other, because their vessels are short-circuiting because they've chosen not to awaken and ascend and cannot hold the higher frequencies. So on the other side of the contrast of these autistic children and ADHD, whereas they are maintaining the higher frequencies in a lower frequency vessel, and that's why they act out in whatever else they say. They're coming in, their vessels are coming into that balance and harmonization to where they're not going to have to be described as autistic, if you will. But do you see the contrast of how they're maintaining it, even though it has kind of short-circuited them a little bit, if you will, versus those that are short-circuiting because they literally can't handle the higher frequencies. Autistic children are amazing. When you can look at the contrast in that sense of it, of how they really truly are maintaining those higher crystalline diamond frequencies within their vessels, and what they are sacrificing, if you will, what they are doing to assist in humanity, even though humanity wants to degrade them, is virtually incredibly amazing. I honor every one of those children and the parents that have them. I bow to you straight up. And it's magical. It is magical. And so parents that have autistic children know you're coming into harmony with that too. And your children are aware of that, even if they can't speak it or anything else. And it's a beautiful thing. All right, let me catch up here. They say he's ADS, he's mellowing out. Good. That's beautiful. See, and you're going to find that. All right, Annette said something about mermaids. All right, well, let me catch up. I had the star constellation, had problem with power that people only if use it for good. I'm not quite sure what you're saying there. Thank you, Aaliyah. I love you guys. Annette, what about bipolarity? I'll answer that in 1 second. So the frequency will raise to meet theirs. That's beautiful. Had not heard that. Makes perfect sense. Yes, because they've come in at a higher frequency. All children born after 2010 have been born with higher frequencies that the human adult you have had to neutralize and 0 point your karmic energies and cellular imprints and your energetic imprints in your DNA and evolve yourself to those frequencies. Those children are born at a very, very high frequency. And it is just their vessels trying to harmonize again the left and right brain, because you've been left brain, and as we evolve into a higher frequency, those kids, it'll become easier and more graceful on them. And they will come out of that autism as their vessel rises with the frequency to meet it. And Annette, bipolar, sweet ones, you will find, if you allow yourselves, every single one of you have experienced or been diagnosed bipolar, schizophrenic, schizoaffective. You guys have had seizures. There's many people having seizures right now and have been for the past few years. And many of the light workers, many of you in the spiritual community, whether it was when you were a child, teenager, adult, many of you have had seizures or seizure-like symptoms sometime throughout your life, because seizures start jolting, you awaken. Starts jolting, that is, those seizures are just like jolting. As far as schizoaffective, bipolar, schizophrenia, I can tell you, they tell me that I was bipolar, that I was schizoaffective, and that I have 10 plus different personalities. Now, why wouldn't I have 10 different personalities? Why wouldn't each of you have 10 different personalities? When we have 144 aspects of ourselves. Wouldn't you have 144 personalities? Again, humanity has been enslaved to believe you're crazy. And so, what better way to keep you enslaved and asleep than label you bipolar, schizophrenic, and schizoaffective and put you on a whole bunch of medication to stop you from embodying and connecting with yourself. They wanted you to think you're crazy. They want you to believe that the voices in your head, not the ones of your AI, but the higher aspects of yourself guiding you. And so, Annette, as far as bipolar goes, again, that's that swinging of the pendulum, that as you come into and anchor in yourself, your higher self, that which is your true nature, that pendulum is what you're learning to swing back to this with And the bipolar really is just until you come into that space where you're ready to embrace yourself, you reject yourself. And that's where bipolarism comes in, because you have that swinging of the pendulum. And we're not crazy, even though we've been labeled crazy. And right now, these frequencies and this morphing and transformation is taking place. It's going to make people think they're crazy, and it's going to be us that know they're not, which is going to be the pillar of light and the pillar of peace and the pillar of love that's going to help them get through it. And that's what we do. We're transformers. They make many movies about us, only they disguise them as machines, or they disguise us as many other things. They write many movies about us, guys. We're transformers, and we're the best of the best. And, you know, it is what it is. And we just ride the wave, so let's join hands. You get off of my table. You are a dog. You are not to be on my table. Get down. No. I'm not going to hug you after being on my table. No. Get down. I still love you, but get down. Get down. Thank you. My puppy, I tell you. They're just beautiful. All right. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning. Good morning. All looks like I popped in on another great conversation. Lots of love to all of you. You know me. I just like to ramble. Transformers, angels in disguise. That's right. That's right. And these angels, Kaz, are no longer in disguise. We don't have to be. Everybody else, they're going to be the ones that are in disguise, not us. And that's the beauty of us, because now that each of you have given yourselves permission to be worthy, you've also given yourself permission to step out of the closet, step out of hiding. You've given yourself permission to uncloak yourself. Good morning, Lisa. How you doing, beautiful? You have given yourself permission to no longer be in disguise. So spread your wings and fly. Sync, Sharon. Look at that. You typed that the exact same time I said it. Spread your wings and fly. So, you know, give the physical aspect of you permission, because your soul has already started soaring. Your spirit has already taken off. So, you know, your physical vessel's just catching up, sweet ones. And, you know, say out loud, I give myself permission. You know, Vicky, I give you permission to uncloak yourself, to stop hiding. You know, and that's really just take command of your vessel. You know, tell your vessel, innate, we no longer need that. Reprogram it to this, in a high frequency. Take control of your vessel to release that which it no longer needs. Take command of it. Speak to it. Massage it. It's the greatest tool you have right now, is your vessel. Because through your vessel, you anchor in being the master. So uncloak yourselves. Let go of the fear. You no longer have to be in disguise. You are who you are, who you are. Know that you know that you know. And go out and be. And shine. That's all you're here to do, is shine. And love. And be love. And stay in love. As love. That's all. And to build love. And build through love. So let's join hands. And let's do this. Because there's only less than 1 billion of us, you know, that are awakening and ascending. And the higher we evolve and rise to, we're coming together. So let us join hands. We got this together, side by side, hand in hand. And the passion too. That's right, Annette. And the passion too. And let the passion guide you, sweet ones. And know, it's all magical. And it's all love. And it's all here now. Have a great day, guys. I love you. Big, 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 big hugs and blessings. And for those of you who have received their crystals and the others that are still, crystals are on their way to them, you know, I've infused every single one of those crystals with the Archangel Michael's blue, golden, white light. And I've infused them with my energies of the Eternal Divine Mother and with the energies of the Holy Eternal Divine Mother's truth code number of 33106. So, let me know how you like them, and I love you guys. Big, big, big hugs and blessings. Have a great day. Bye-bye now, guys.